In a surprising tweet on Monday morning, the president suggested perhaps he himself could speak before the committee in the House impeachment inquiry. But the president was responding to statements made by the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi during an appearance on Face the Nation on Sunday.
So the president could come right before the committee and speak all the truth that he wants if he wants to.
You don't expect him to do that.
If he wants to take the oath of office, or he could do it in writing. He has every opportunity to present his case.
The president responding on Twitter saying that, yes, he could also respond in written questions, and ending his tweet with, quote, "I like the idea and will in order to get Congress focused again, strongly considering it." Now, the White House would not say how possible this scenario could be or if the White House counsel would get behind such an idea.
China's government has hit back at a New York Times report which links President Xi Jinping directly to detention policies targeting ethnic minorities in Xinjiang, calling the story a smear filled with distortions. More than 400 pages of Communist Party documents were leaked detailing mass incarceration of mostly Muslim Uyghurs as well as other ethnic minorities.
That's right, John. Yeah, this is unprecedented. I mean, you got to point out that this is, as you mentioned, 400 plus documents, pages that the New York Times says that they got hold of. They say from somebody who's a member of Chinese political establishment. They didn't go into detail beyond that, but they say that person's intention was to reveal what exactly was going on in Xinjiang, the far western region where these ethnic minorities, predominantly Muslims, are being detained. And this person also wanted to disclose that this went all the way to the top.
A White House official is suing a journalist and her website for libel and looking for tens of millions of dollars in damages. But a big payout isn't all that's at stake. This suit goes right to the heart of the impeachment inquiry.
Well, John, it's extraordinarily unusual for a White House official to file such a suit. Kash Patel, he's a top official at the National Security Council, filed this $25 million suit against Politico. Its reporter Natasha Bertrand, an MSNBC contributor, saying they accused him of lying and deceit in reporting last month that he had fed President Trump negative information about Ukraine. Patel says in the suit he's never discussed anything having to do with Ukraine with the president.
Hooligans and thugs. That's how Iranian authorities are describing these demonstrators who have come out for a third day in a row. There are no rallies or marches. Instead, petrol stations have been set on fire, banks and even police stations attacked. These scenes are not taking place in the capital, Tehran, but in other major cities, including Shiraz, Isfahan, and Mashhad. And now, a security crackdown's been ordered to make sure they don't happen again. The Intelligence Ministry, the Revolutionary Guard, and local police say they will be out in full force. The violence started when the government announced a sudden threefold increase in fuel prices.
The United States has announced a major reversal of its long-standing policy on Israeli settlements, rejecting the international consensus that considers them illegal. The move is likely to further inflame tensions between the Trump administration and Palestinian communities and widen the gap between the US and its traditional allies in Europe.
Not inconsistent with international law, 5 words that upend more than 4 decades of US policy toward Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank. Making the announcement, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that US opposition to settlements has not advanced the cause of peace.
This is a complex political problem that can only be solved by negotiations between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
To the college admission scandal. 18 people set to be arraigned on Wednesday for their role in this scam. Among them, Lori Loughlin, the actress, and her husband, reportedly very concerned about very severe sentences that they could face. Judge, where are we?
Well, they can face the most severe sentences because, and the federal prosecutors do this to you, the feds offered everybody a fairly decent deal with a minimal amount of jail time. I say fairly decent. A lot of people think this should have been resolved civilly rather than criminally, but it's been resolved. It's being resolved criminally. They've all been indicted. Loughlin and her husband basically said, forget about it, whereupon the feds re-indicted them for far graver charges.
Because they didn't take the plea bargain?
Because they didn't take the plea bargain.
How grave? How long could they spend in prison?
She could spend 10 years in prison, which seems ridiculous for what she did.
Russia has returned 3 naval ships it captured from the Ukraine last year. The handover took place off the coast of the disputed Crimea region. At the time of the seizure, Russia accused the Ukrainian Navy of illegally entering its waters. This move is the latest effort to ease tensions between the two countries before a peace summit next month. They've been locked in conflict since Russia annexed Crimea in 2014.
Well, we can assume, Amrita, that the Russian authorities decided to return the ships as a sign of goodwill before the so-called Normandy summit, which is scheduled for December 9th in Paris, in France. That's at least how Russian media outlets are reading this. The summit will bring together the leaders of Russia, Ukraine, France and Germany and aims to resolve the conflict in eastern Ukraine, or at least achieve some progress in this issue.
President Moon has ordered the use of all possible means to rescue the people still missing from a ship that caught fire this morning in waters near South Korea's southernmost island of Jeju. So far, 1 person's been confirmed dead and 11 others are unaccounted for. In a text message relayed by his spokesperson, President Moon called on all related ministries and organizations to take the utmost care in managing the rescue. The president also told those in charge to keep the families of the victims informed. That includes the families of the boat's 6 Vietnamese crew members, whose families the president said should be contacted and given help to visit Korea if they wish.
Saudi Arabia says Yemen's Houthi rebels have hijacked a vessel south of the Red Sea. The ship was towing a South Korean drilling rig. The Saudi news agency says a group of armed Houthi rebels seized the vessel on Sunday. A Houthi official has told Reuters they will release the vessel if they can confirm it belongs to South Korea.
We are following 2 developing stories, 2 deadly shootings, the urgent hunt underway at this hour, and the other deadly shooting at another Walmart, this time in Oklahoma in the parking lot. The gunman targeting a man and a woman in a car, riddling the windshield with bullet holes, then a bystander with a gun, approaching the suspect in the parking lot. The gunman would then turn the weapon on himself, at least 9 shots fired, family members rushing to the scene.
The calls came in just before 10 o'clock this morning.
Getting several reports of shots fired at Walmart parking lot.
Police racing to this Walmart 80 miles south of Oklahoma City.
This is a very sad tale that's unfolding here in Duncan, Oklahoma.
Schools placed on lockdown.
We know that 2 people were inside of this red car you're seeing right here with the bullet holes in the windshield.
3 people, including the alleged shooter, dead. A handgun found at the scene.